Hello and welcome to In the Wings, a Chattanooga Theater Center podcast. My name is Scott Dunlap and I am your host. And with me today, I have Joyce Benson, the lovely and talented Joyce Benson. Welcome.
Thank you so much, Scott. It's just a pleasure to be here.
So Joyce, tell us a little bit about yourself and what you do when you're not on stage.
Okay. When I'm not on stage, I'm working. I work in recruitment for Erlanger Health System. And very, very busy, but it's enjoyment for me.
Uh-huh.
But coming to the stage, when I come here, it's like a great relief.
It's like a little mini vacation.
Yes, it is. It
nice.
is.
So where are you from?
I'm from Knoxville, Tennessee.
What brought you down here?
My husband, he's military, and so we've been all over. And when my daughters went to UTC, and we would visit them a lot, of course, and we just realized, okay, when it's time for you to retire, we're going to stop here at Chattanooga, and we did.
Nice.
We just love it, so.
And so you're still kind of close to home, too.
Yes, because I have a daughter that's in Georgia, and my other daughter lives here, so I'm right there in the middle, so it works out perfectly.
So tell us a little bit about your process, because I know you from Murder on the Orient Express, other people who might have seen you as Princess Natalia Dragomirov in Murder. And that was the first time we got to work together, but you've auditioned for several times. You've auditioned a couple of times to try to get in here, too.
Yes.
Tell us about what that experience is like. Tell us about auditions, what that's like for you.
Okay.
And then we'll talk about what it's like when you get in.
Okay. So actually, my first audition came by way of Lindsay Wheels. She was my acting teacher. So
and that was, you took classes here?
I took acting classes right here at the Chattanooga Theater Center.
Nice.
And when I realized I had a passion for it, I've always had a passion. I've always entertained. I've been in a couple of pageants and this type thing. And when we settled here, I realized they had a community, a great community here. And so I started at Oak Street. Lindsay sent me there. After acting class, she said, there's something about you, and I think you're ready. And, of course, I was nervous, but I went there, and I read, not even realizing what it was all about. It was a Wild Women of Wyndham, and I got a part. And I was totally surprised, but it was a great experience. And then I said, okay, I have to move on to a bigger platform. So that's the Chattanooga Theater Center. And like you said, I tried out for a few things, and I was like, I have to find my niche. I'm just coming every time I see something. So I need to wait and see what would be more, on my level, or what the director might see in me. And when I thought of it that way and I came, that's when I got my first part when Murder on the Orient Express, and I was surprised and excited all at the same time.
It was so much fun.
So
it was a great cast. And I mean, I'm glad you're here, but I'm also very glad that was one of your first experiences, because those folks were prepared. Oh. I mean, I as a director, I've never experienced something like that where people were coming to rehearsal off book.
Yes, that's huge.
It was huge. So it was, but everybody was so kind and so good, and it was just, it was like perfect. Not too social, not antisocial.
Yes.
It was great. But it was a bunch of introverts, and I always like that.
Yes, and I made new friends, and you were wonderful. Of course, you were so patient with me. You knew my history apparently, and so you knew how to maneuver and what I needed and what I didn't. So that was just awesome.
Well, and I remember you from the other auditions, and I was like, I have got to find a place for this lady. And that you're right, though. Like, part of that, I think when people are auditioning, it is good to audition. It is really good to audition for things that you don't necessarily want to be in, because what happens is people get nervous when you get here, and I think taking classes is another great way to do that, because it makes the building less intimidating. You start like associating the building with class, or with the people that you've met in the class, or the people that you meet at auditions. And so each time you come, it does become a little bit easier. And yes, you're always going to have some nerves, at an audition.
Always. But like you said, just like going on interviews, even if you're not interested in certain jobs. I think it's just good practice. It's good for you. It's good for your nerves and for you to stay just active. And when I did that, I became less nervous, and I just enjoyed coming to auditions.
Yeah.
When I did Murder, I was like, okay, it's at 9. It was later because there were so many people that tried out, and I said, I probably won't get it, but there was something in my spirit that said, okay, you've got to do this because it was one of my favorite films. So I'm just grateful I was able to be a part of it.
That's awesome. That's great. So yeah, I mean, I think also that everything hits at the right time too, right? So
Yes.
like, it was finding the right place, the right time, all of that stuff, and then here you are now. And now going from that, which was an ensemble piece, that
Yes.
was everybody. Except for poor Poirot, who had like 1,000,002 lines, but most everybody, it was pretty even.
Yeah.
And now it's a different kind of ensemble piece. You're like the lead, but there's only 4 people, right?
Yes.
So there's not many people to take
Yeah.
the eyes off of you. What is that like? What is it like working on Angry, Raucous, and Shamelessly Gorgeous?
Well, when I came out for the audition, I felt very confident. I read about it. I read about Pearl Cleage, and it was just so interesting. So I said, I have to try. I was going out for one of the other roles, not the lead at all. But when I read it, I could feel it, and she had me to read it over and over and over again. And so I was just surprised. The next day, I got a call. Usually they say, wait till Wednesday. I said, oh, I hadn't thought about it. And she called and said, I would like to offer you the lead. And I was like, really? So it's exciting. It's new. Being the lead, I feel like some of the weight is on my shoulders. And it is kind of a little intimidating. But through the experience, through watching the lead on Murder on the Orient Express, because I would watch Perot and the gentleman that played Perot, and I would think, ooh, I'm so glad that I don't have those lines. So here I am.
Right?
But as he did, I know I would get through it.
Right. And that's the other thing. I think everything has kind of prepared you little by little. Like, it is always scary when you have somebody that is new that's flung into a big role. I mean, that was Justin as Justin. I didn't know him from Adam's House Cat. I knew his father. His father had done stuff here several years ago, but had no idea. I'd never met him or anything.
Yes.
And so that was a leap of faith for both of
Yes.
us to say, okay, you're Poirot. And I think that's the other thing is I think people sometimes audition for things not necessarily knowing how much they're biting off.
Exactly. Yeah. And that is so true. He may have felt that way. I'm sure he did. It was like exciting when you get it. You're like, oh my goodness, so excited. And then when you get the book, you're like, whoa.
Exactly.
So that's how I feel like, whoa. But I'm determined, and I feel that I could bring a lot to this role, and the confidence that Amber Brown has in me and her manager, and the cast is just so they're inviting. They just kind of rally around me. I guess being the more mature actress in the cast, and it's wonderful. We have a very, very good combination within that group. So I'm looking forward to it.
But you have an energy in which it's exciting to watch you and work with you, and I think it's going to be lovely to see you in this role. And so tell us about this role. How is this role? I mean, now you usually play princesses, right? I mean,
yes, at least once.
At least once.
This is different because it's more down to the time period where we are. I mean, it's from 2018, so it's pretty much not that much of a difference from now. So the scene where it takes place and dealing with the difference of women and their different journeys, because you have women of different ages, different journeys, and the struggles that come with it. And so we're actually bouncing off of each other and learning and growing. That's within the script, not just me saying as us as a group, but that's I don't want to give anything away, but we grow. And bringing that to life is something that gives me the energy and the drive, because I like that challenge. Because I feel like lines and everything else, but if you have that character inside of you, I feel that you can make it work.
So tell us about your character. Tell us about her.
Okay. I am Anna.
Okay.
And Anna is a veteran actress. She was in the States, and she was just also very well known. And then she took it upon herself with the August Wilson's series and everything, and she felt the need to make a stand for women because August Wilson, you know, it's more roles for men and a few for women. And so she wanted to make a change, so she did this very dramatic thing. And with that, didn't go over so well, so she left. She left the country, and she had just a wonderful career and was asked to come back for something, and that's where the fun begins.
Gotcha.
So
nice. So how do you think are you like, I mean, you say Anna's in you, and Amber sees that too, but where are you alike and where are you different?
Well, Anna is a diva.
You are not a diva.
But I'm not. No, let me clarify.
No.
I'm not. I'm different, but I can, for whatever reason, I can portray that. She is just someone that feels, you know, privileged. And as you get older, you feel even more privileged. So
Boy, do you ever.
Yeah.
I can tell you.
You do.
I'm like, do you not know how old I am?
Yes. So I deserve it. I can say whatever I want, and that's how she is.
Right.
And she puts on airs depending on the company that is there at that time. And I feel that I can bring it out because I like playing people that's different from me. And this is how this is going to be. And it's just exciting, scary, and all of that at the same time, but I'm looking forward to it. But, yeah, she's going to bring a lot to this play. And the other characters is just going to be that sponge that she needs.
So what's it like? I mean, now you've had two experiences here. One, a big scale, huge on the main stage, lots of characters, lots to keep up with. And now it's condensed. You're in the Circle Theater, which is almost in the round. We've got like 3/4 thrust. With 3 other women. What's that like? How does that differ? How does it feel?
Well, it's most definitely different because I had never done that. So we were always practicing in one of the rehearsal rooms. I'm like, oh, because it's bigger. So you're like, oh, okay. It felt the same, you know, as murder. But when we got in there and I looked around and I said, okay, all that moving around I did, how am I supposed to condense that? But she said it's going to come naturally. But it is going to be, and I realized the audience will be right there. I will be playing actually right there to them. So this is going to be a challenge, one that I don't think will defeat me, but it is very different, even in rehearsals. I'm like, okay, but this couch was here, but this is here, but okay, I have to rearrange. So, oh, what a difference.
So, and all female cast.
Yes.
Pretty much all women in the room. You just have Jarrell, who's like the assistant director and stage manager.
Yes.
But so what's that vibe like? Because you're going from dealing with a multicultural cast. We had people of all colors and races and everything in murder to now you're dealing with other black women. What's that like?
Well, outside of what people see as the norm is this, okay, you know, there's a little struggle for attention and stuff. It's not that way. It's just stereotypical, as people are until you get into that. But I've always been in a diverse situation at work and everything. So it just seems we play well off of each other. Like I said, they're younger, not too much younger. There's a couple that's not that much younger. But not surprisingly, I don't want to say surprisingly, for women as a whole, for us to have combined the way we have, I want to get the word as I'm trying to think of, that we have really formed a family within that group. And it was surprising to me, not that I expected, there's going to be a lot of divas, because that's what people see us as we are, women of color. They do. But when I got there, it was just welcoming. It was seeing me at the mature woman that I am, and I'm called Miss Joyce, Miss this, and I'm thinking you don't have to do that. So it's really enjoyable, a nice, warm surprise.
Well, and it's my experience. We did Sister Act several years ago with a mostly female cast. I mean, there were a couple of dudes in there, but mostly women and me, and I had a female stage manager. And the same thing, they bonded so well. And you do, I know we have these thoughts like people going to be catty or whatever, and it wasn't at all. It was a wonderful, wonderful, almost spiritual experience, which I was not expecting from Sister Act. But, you have all the spiritual stuff in Sister Act too. And it was really moving. It was really fun.
Well, I guess like Forrest Gump would say, you never know what you're going to get. I believe that I say it often, just never know what you're going to get. And I didn't know what I was going to get, but it's just a lovely, lovely bonding. That's the word I was looking for.
Yes.
That we have, and it's growing. I kind of interact with everyone.
Right.
There's times when I am in a controversial situation with each character. So as the role and as the play goes on, it gets softer, softer and softer. So it feels good. It even feels good in rehearsal.
So who do you think would like this show? Who is it for?
I think it's a broad audience. I don't want anyone to think, oh, this is more of a play, it's more diverse for Black people. It's not. It's going to speak to a lot of women of all walks of life. But I can see where a man could look at this and say, I never thought that. They could see the different sides of women, the different ages and at different stages of their life. So I think anyone coming, it would be a treat.
Well, and it is interesting because I think a lot of times, again, stereotype, but men do tend to write off women's stories of, that's for girls. And it's like, well, if you love women, why do you not want to hear their stories?
You tell me.
Why do you not want to know them better?
Why do you not want to see these beautiful women in a circle?
And what bothers them or what affects them and what moves them? Because Lord knows all the women have to go see all the Marvel movies with you.
Oh, yes. We have to go see all of that. But I think what a man would get out of this is the entertaining of seeing how a woman can change so quickly from one mood to the next, which they're probably used to at home. But it would be in more of an entertaining form.
Right.
So outside of just a little bit of language, I think it is for... PG-13, a little older, if that's the right PG for it, because there are a couple of languages, that are there, and I speak them.
I cannot wait. I'm going to be there with the popcorn.
But I think, for a mature audience, I think it's better. Little bitty children, I don't know, but I don't want to negate anything, but, it's just something to think about.
That's always a thing for us is people deciding what's right for their kid. And it's like, well, you have to decide what's right for your kid. Exactly. I can't really decide because, depends on your child.
Yes. I've had a couple of people that's already asked me about it, and they said, oh, yes, I'm bringing them. And I am shocked. And it's not a whole lot.
Right.
Not at all. You almost pass it by. I mean, that's how quickly it goes. But for the adult, you're going to get it. You say, oh, yes. For the child, I just don't think it's over the top.
Yeah. Yeah. Nice. So what is the most difficult part of this for you? What is the hardest part of this?
The lines.
I kind of have a feeling you're going to say, here's the thing, Joyce, I only had 16 lines. And I'm not a line counter. When people count lines, I'm like, nope. Because when you're counting lines, you tell me that's the only time you're going to act. No, you're acting every time you're on stage. So don't count your lines. That's from Uncle Scott.
Okay.
But in Something Rotten, I only had 16 lines. And the only reason I knew that is I found an app that would, that would help me learn my lines. And so it was like, this is line number 14. And I was like, why do I cannot remember these 16 lines. It's only 16.
Yes. Yes. It's real.
Yeah, it is real.
It's real, but...
So how are you working on that? How does that?
I am taking it in chunks.
Mm-hmm.
I may have, I'm ready from the beginning to this part. And when I get to rehearsal, she said, no, we're going right back here. And I'm like, I have not even touched that. But with this, with the emotional theory that's in this, I can pull from that. I read the book over and over and over again. So if I forget a line, I can pull into it and say something similar because I know the story. So it's all about knowing the story. And when you know the story, you're like, oh, it comes back to you.
It does. And you live it, too. That's the other thing is, like, I think we had, like, in Tuck Everlasting, the kids had a moment where they got tickled on stage one day. And I said, if you're getting tickled on stage, it's because you are watching the play, and the people in the play can't watch the play.
Oh,
You have to live the story.
Yes.
It's your story, so you got to live it.
Yes.
You know? And so, yeah, that's totally it. And as my friend Beth Gumnick, who is also a director, says, how do you eat an elephant? One bite at a time.
Yes.
And that's just what you have to do, especially when you have that kind of line load and that kind of responsibility. Do you even get to leave the stage?
Yes.
She says with a sigh. Yes.
Ooh, yes, she does. But yes, but not for very long.
Right.
But I'm enjoying it. You know, at first it was like a little intimidating. I'm like, I feel so honored. And that's a little part in there. So honored to be playing this role. And that's how she is. And I think about that. And there's some comedy in it. That's another thing. Oh, it's like a dramedy. The comedy in it is going to come from how well we put it out there. So this is a play that could be like, there's women on stage talking, but it's what we put in it that's going to have you to sit up and pay attention. And I believe that with all my heart because it's there in rehearsals. So I had to become a big part of that. And I have a big personality. Some people can see it. I think you spotted it. But I have a very big personality, and so I am using that to get through my lines, to get through how I'm supposed to feel at that time. And it's interesting. After this, I feel like I could do anything. If I get through this, and I know I will, I feel like I'll be able to do,
That's
get through
awesome.
anything.
and here's the other thing. That's like a personal goal. Like you're reaching a personal goal as well. That's a landmark.
Yes, I feel like I jumped. Murder is everything because I was really watching it myself as they were online. I forget. I thought, it's time for me to go on. But it's like a leap from aspect of lines. But I remember when I had my monologue, and that's what I go back to when I was Princess in Murder. And when I go back there, and I remember how I'm going to make this work. And I remember, and I say, okay, I think Scott's going to ask me to do this tonight. I don't know. But after I took the fear out and say, hey, this is who you are. This is not Joyce. This is who you are in this moment. I was able to relax. So I had to become that person. So once you do that, you feel so much better. So this is growth for me.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
I think that's one of the things I've heard other people say, like, my friends can't believe that I spend my nights doing this, and I'm like, but you know what? There are people that build ships and put them in bottles, and I that doesn't have. I mean, I'm not knocking it, but it would not hold my attention.
Exactly.
So potato, tomato, as they say.
Yes.
It's interesting to have. How do you think does that help you in your daily work as well? Does that confidence of being able to say, I'm doing this, I'm checking boxes, I'm reaching goals, how does that work with your daily life too?
Well, it can be a challenge, like when I'm at work, and it's stressful at times, and because I'm 100% in everything I do. But I can say in my back of my mind, but I get to go to the Chattanooga Theater Center and be somebody completely different. And it's amazing when you walk through these doors. It's like a mini vacation. It's like you get to be somebody totally different, and the responsibility is just on yourself. Yeah. So I love it. It's like a getaway. And like you said, unless you have that passion, family, friends, coworkers, they don't understand. They say,
don't get it.
You're leaving after working 8 hours here, and you're going 6 hours where? And I'm like, I cannot wait.
Well, and you also can't be reached for a little while, so it is like a vacation.
That's it. You get that. Oh, it is. It is. And for family, like my husband, I told him, you will see me again. I promise. Our life will be back to that sitting on the couch again. I said, but I need you to be patient, and he is.
That's
and
good.
He supports me, and that helps.
Yeah, for sure. Nice. So what is we've talked about the most difficult part. What is the most rewarding part? What is the best part? What is your favorite part of this?
In the play or just in general?
Of this show in particular?
The triumph in the ending. I don't want to give anything away, but the ending will just melt your heart. I can say that. And that's the part I like. Not to say it's, whoo, all those lines, I'm done. But a little bit. But I think the ending is going to make everyone feel just calm. Like, oh, how nice.
Nice.
Yes. So that helps me out. I like the ending. I mean, I like it all. I like the dramatic part. Like I said, you get to be someone you're not. And that part is thrilling. But when you get to calm down and settle, I think that's my best part.
Now, had you read the script or the book before you auditioned?
No, I was looking for it everywhere. I couldn't find it anywhere.
It's new, so it's hard to find.
Yes. I went on Amazon. It says it's not available. So what I did was, of course, you go on social media, and I was able to find some bits and pieces of it and read about Pearl Cleage, and some bits and pieces I saw. They wouldn't give you the whole thing, and I know Felicia Rashad and her sister Debbie Allen, they played this at one time, and that
really,
yes,
I didn't know that.
Yes, I was reading the history, and that kind of gave me a little boost.
Yeah,
and I said, "Wow, to be able to do that," but it just a little bits and pieces of others, and when I look at the other ones, I'm like, I think we do that better. Seriously, not to knock anything, but when I see us doing it, I like the direction that Amber is taking us in.
Nice.
So it makes it even better, because I think if I had seen it on social media, I'd be like, I don't know. But boy, when she brings it to life and let us be how we can be, it makes a difference. Just like yourself.
Right.
Yes.
And I agree with you. Like, there are things, I do think at the Theater Center we do things really well, because I'll look at either production photos of, I belong to some social media groups on Facebook and stuff, and I look at other pictures of other productions, or I'll see videos, and I'm like, I kind of like what we do.
Yes, that's the difference. We're special.
It feels that way.
Yeah, it really, really does.
And I do think we try to hear, like you said, you get to kind of focus on your part. Like, we take care of all this other stuff for you. Whereas and there's nothing wrong with it, but like sometimes when you go do a play somewhere else, you're painting the set, you're bringing in your own costumes, you're,
yes,
having to pass out flyers and stuff like that. And we leave the driving to us. We will take care of you.
That was such a pleasurable treat. When I got here, I said, I guess we're going to be doing this and that, and I'm going to have to change this. And you was like, no. And what you brought, you don't, now put that to the side. I have this for you. And that was a treat. I felt like, I felt privileged. I was like, it really was wonderful. The behind-the-scenes people here are amazing. I mean, I fell in love with them. They became family. They became a part of the show. They are a part of the show.
And that's the other thing. It's nice to have people. Everybody is caring about what they're doing on whatever level. You know what I mean? And so, yeah, it's kind of, I don't want to say a privilege, but it is a privilege.
It is a privilege.
I mean, I think everybody is happy to do it as well. I think, staff and volunteers and, everybody is working towards the same goal, and it's really lovely.
Yeah, and they're the cheerleaders.
Yeah, for sure.
They are the cheerleaders when I'm sitting there, and they're like, okay, someone always says, it's going to be okay, you got this, you were so good last night, and this, and you just, that encouragement they give, and no one asked them to do that,
right?
But they feel so part of you that it just comes naturally to them, and that makes me just feel right at home.
That's awesome. So you all got to talk to Pearl Cleage, right?
Oh, yes.
Like, she couldn't come up. She lives in Atlanta, right?
Yes, she's in Atlanta, and I guess I could say she's at a stage in her life where she doesn't travel much anymore. So it was a privilege. I don't know if she's done this with anyone else. So
nice.
Our director took a bold stand, And I feel like I'm seeing some of the role, some of my parts. But she took a bold stand and she made it work. And so we was like, oh, how is she going to be? You know, how she was the most down-to-earth person. She took us back to history of her life. And that gave me, before I was nervous getting on stage, after seeing her and her being so down-to-earth speaking to us, it gave me the courage I needed. And I felt so proud. And she was like, you're going to be Anna? And I said, yes. And she was just so good with me. I felt wonderful. She's wonderful. She just spoke about her life also in her early years of going to Spelman and what she experienced. She was a drama major, and everything she experienced, you can imagine, through the times, over the years, the diversity, and what she had to put up with.
Right.
So it was just very enlightening. So I think it really helped boost us to prepare for this play.
Well, and you saying that makes me think a little bit too. I mean, I think it probably happens to every generation of people, and Angry Raucous is a little bit about generations, right? And
Yes.
and I know you probably feel this way. I know I feel this way. You are happy that people don't have to struggle in the same way that you struggled.
Yeah.
But also you feel like they're missing the point.
Yeah.
You know what
Yeah,
I mean?
I get
It's
that.
Like, you earned this.
Yes.
And
yes.
they haven't. And is that kind of where Anna is as well? Like, is this, well, I guess, is this Anna, is she Pearl Klieg? Is this all kind of...
We asked her that. That was, and she let us know, no, this was, she could put in some of that from what she's experienced, but she did not base this play on her life story, on all of her experiences. She said this just, if I can remember correctly, this just came to her, not like from the struggles of this, from the struggles of that. She just felt like in the play that women's voices are not being heard, which is still true in a lot of, we've come a long way, but with a lot of things, but women's voices are not always heard.
In a very short time, I think that's the other thing that people don't realize. I mean, my mom tells me, I was born in 1973, and she couldn't have a credit card in her name. It had to be in my father's name, even though he didn't have a job. You know what I mean? And she's like, wait, but it's my money.
Wait, what's happening?
You know what I mean? And that's in my lifetime.
Yes,
you know what I mean? That's like hard
in
to
ours.
believe.
Yes, it is.
You know?
So we have, women's voices are heard. I mean, we have a madam, there's going out for a presidency. So,
Yes.
all of this that has come to be from Hillary Clinton and all of this, Michelle Obama. So it's just a variety. So I just love the place where we're in, and I'm just excited to be a part of it this time in my life. So it feels good. It feels natural.
I'm a little ready for some smooth sailing, though. It would be nice if we could coast for a little bit.
Just a little bit, don't you think?
Just a little bit right now.
Yeah. And we will. Hope we get to see it, Scott.
We do. So also, I mean, are you, these are just some personal questions. It may not have anything necessarily to do with the play. Do you define yourself as an introvert or an extrovert?
Oh, no, I'm an extrovert.
Really?
Hey, how you doing? But I read a room first before, because I feel that I can be a bit much. I feel people don't see it at home with my grandchildren, but I always read a room to see, because you still have to watch. Some people are not... they're not engaging to you, be in their face. Hey, how you doing? They see it as fake or something, but I'm like, hey, we're in this world. I just want a happy, happy world. I want a happy time, and I know that's not always the case, and most of the time it's not. But no, I'm an extrovert. I'm like, bring it in. Let's go have fun. Let's do this. What's your name? How you doing? Where you from?
That's interesting.
Yeah, people don't see me that way.
I think you're right, because in Murder, I think, like you said, you read a room.
Yeah.
And so that was a bunch of introverts in that play. I say that I'm an introvert. It's okay to say that. It's okay.
You're an introvert?
I am totally an introvert. I can put it on. There's a character, Scott, but that is
Oh.
not the same person
Okay.
as like me at home.
Okay. Gotcha.
I actually think I'm funnier at home, to be honest.
Oh,
But
yes.
I'm much more. I have a lot more anxiety than people probably know. I have a lot more. I overthink things. Yeah. So
And I have that too. So I may be in the middle.
You might be
I
on the
think I might
cusp.
be on the. I think I might be because there are times when I do overthink what they said, what they mean by that. But I try to just tone it down.
Situational introvert extrovert.
Yeah, I.
Appropriate introvert extrovert.
You have finally got Joyce the way she is.
Perfect. What is your favorite thing about what you do during the day? What do you like about your job?
I like, of course, it's about bringing people in and help them to get employed. And while they go through the process with orientation and everything, I'm the person that get them from A to Z. So there's a lot in between. And the in-between is what I like because the challenge, there's some people, that's coming and everything, is on the computer. You have to be very computer literate. Be amazed at the people that are not. There's just different job roles. And so my job with most of them are the people who are not computer literate.
Gotcha.
So I'm also like a teacher. And I let them know you don't have to be afraid. So I'm really diffusing situations so they can get to where they need to be. And that's comfortable for me because I like talking to people. And I like getting people to where they need to be. It's like a comforting to me when they walk out that door where it's like it's in the beginning, you don't have to be. And I'm here, and I'm going to get you to where you need to be. And that makes me feel good when that's accomplished. Yeah.
That's nice. How do you think that might relate to? I know that being in a show is a little bit of a vacation from doing that, but what part of that job do you use as an actress?
Well, when there's someone that comes in over the top, just over the top, unnecessarily, that's when I can go into actress mode. I can be like, okay, it depends on the person. If you're over the top, okay, let me let you know that we all can be over the top. But eventually we're going to meet each other. And so that's the part I like. I mean, I get to use that in different, working with coworkers. I love everybody, just there's no one in particular. But there are different personalities. So sometimes I find myself changing the way I speak to certain people as opposed to this person. That's acting.
It sure
Because
is.
I know this person needs this at this time, but this person might need this at this time. So it's a constant, moving around and characterizing. And so I guess it is a part of acting. I'm probably acting all day long, and I didn't realize it.
You just don't have to memorize the lines.
I can create my own lines.
Exactly. Your improv skills.
Yes. I love it.
So is there a part of your job, though, your daytime job, that you can use when you're here at night? Is there a part of that? How can you?
Well, when you talk about the different personalities, and most everybody's an extrovert. So I pull from the things that I go through on my job with the different personalities. Oh boy. So that helps me when I get here. So I feel like I can face anyone. I can face, hey, how you doing? It's like, hello. I'm like, okay. I got you. And I'm used to it. It's almost the same. Work, acting, and coming to the theater acting. You have to, it kind of comes together. It kind of entwines. And I didn't realize it till you brought this out of me. I feel like that I am in a very good therapy session.
You are welcome. I don't even charge.
That's wonderful. We'll have to do this more.
We will. Here's another question that may not necessarily be related to anything, and then I might bring it back. We'll see. So if you could do anything else in the world, if you could have any other profession, what would it be?
I most definitely would be an actress. Once I really got into this, I thought, why did I not do this earlier? I don't know if the opportunities wasn't there. It was a different time. we were brought up, okay, you go to college,
Mm-hmm.
get your degree, you do this, you get married, you do this to this. But I always had that in me when I see even television shows and at the movies, I'm wondering, still about the lines. I'm like, it's amazing to me how they can bring the lines and make it something. Because outside of that, it's just reading. But to bring those lines to something amazing and make a story out of it, I used to think, oh, that is so awesome. And I would think now, if I only had known at high school, I would have left and gone to one of the arts and schools in New York. And I think about that now, but I think it's wonderful now that at this part of my life, that now I have this. So I don't see it as a regret. I would have done that. But I say, okay, I can do this now.
Nice. Okay, what we're gonna do is
We've got some fun.
we're gonna have some fun. I'm gonna let you pick a couple of questions. This is like question roulette.
Okay.
I won't know. Neither one of us will know what the questions are.
Okay.
So I'm gonna let you pick a couple of questions. Here, I'll spread them out like this.
Okay.
And then pick another one. Let's take two. They're small. So what's one of your questions?
Who is an actor or actress you admire and why?
Ooh, good one.
So I'm to answer that.
Yes.
Okay. Angela Bassett, hands down.
Okay.
And the reason being is she has played such a variety of characters, which has amazed me. She was Michael Jackson's mother. She played Tina Turner. Just totally different. And then she was in Wakanda. And she was and every bit of them was different. And she brought each one of them to life. I don't see it like some characters and this character, oh, you know how they're going to be because they play the same type roles. How she's able to just pull all of that into a role, I just admired her from day one, and I admire her now because she's still doing it.
Yeah.
So she is my favorite, and I admire her, and that's why.
And I am pretty sure she got her start on the stage too. Yeah. We did. I think it was Joe Turner's Come and Gone, and she had a very small role in the original company of that.
Okay.
The first thing I remember seeing her in was Tina Turner, of course.
Yeah.
I mean, that's when she was like, you couldn't ignore her.
Yes. She had
she
arrived.
Is here. Yes, exactly. All right. What's your other question?
My other question is, what is your idea of heaven?
I was hoping. Here's the thing. I was hoping you would get this question because I want to know.
For me, it's peace. Peace for all mankind. That's my idea of heaven.
So what's peace to you?
Peace is when everyone does not have to be the same. They don't have to have the same culture. They don't have to have the same anything about them. They can be totally different in the world's eye view. But can come together and say, no matter who you are, how you are, what your beliefs are, I love you.
That's lovely.
So that's what heaven is to me.
That is beautiful. All right. Is there any other question what's a question you thought I was going to ask you, or one that you wish I had asked you?
I don't know, Scott. You cover a pretty good wide span of questions. I guess, in general, am I happy? And I can just say, in this part of my life, when you're young, I just feel like you're going through this, you're going through this, you're going through this, all these different genres of different times in your life. But I feel like I am in a time in my life where I can just be me, relaxed, and I'm enjoying every second of what I thought was going to be, when I get that age. It is wonderful, and I'm enjoying it.
That's great. That's a great question. I should ask
you
anybody.
Should put this on
I put it on. Well, I'll put it on one of the questions. Are you happy? That's
and why?
A good question. And why?
Yeah, and then they can really. That'll put them on the spot.
Well, who wants to say no?
Yes, so they'll go into character mode. Okay, let me go to character mode.
But, it has been wonderful talking to you. Thank you so much.
Such
it's
a pleasure.
Great. I'm so happy for you, and I can't wait to see you in this.
Okay, well, Scott, I I'm looking forward to it, and I hope to be up under your wings again one day again soon.
Me too.
Okay.
We'll consider it done. It'll happen.
Okay.
All right. Thank you.
Thank you so much.